Well, just a way of brief
She's
introduction, Max Teitelbaum comes to us from whatrunswhere.com. And whatrunswhere.com is an intelligence service, but I'm assuming you're not one of those guys that sneaks around borders with a hidden camera or works for the government and sends people off to places from which they never return. You're getting information to help people make choices when it comes to buying media, right? That's what this is all about.
correct. Yeah, we offer competitive advertising intelligence for media buys. So we basically can show you how to buy more effectively, make more money media buying than what everybody else is doing. So you have an easier time of actually running these media buys.
How to make more
Well,
money.
my compute exactly, and that's what everybody wants to know.
Yes.
Um, PowerPoint's starting up because my computer is obviously terrible. I'll start talking if you guys are good. I'll just give you a brief introduction about myself, who I am, what I've done, why you should care what I say. So, as stated, I'm Max. I've been in the affiliate marketing industry for 5 years. I started out as an affiliate, and shortly after built my business to about 7 figures a year in gross commissions. Made enough money, really burnt out of affiliate marketing, but I made most of it through media buying. And then my co-founder and good friend of mine, Mike, had the service, and I started working here. And, I've used What Runs Where to make just over $500,000 for myself. So I mean, I'm going to show you guys sort of how I did this, what I did to do that, and how you can use it. But I mean, I'm not here to sell you on our product. It's great if you sign up, but let's go into media buying. What's media buying? How you can do it better? How you can get started with just a bit of money? How you can start risk-free? It's more about giving you guys some information and then to say thank you. You'll buy our product. It's a two-way street, and I'm very excited about it. So, what's media buying? Media buying. So there are all sorts of ways to market your campaigns as an affiliate. You can buy search. You can buy social like Facebook or MySpace. You could buy, Plenty of Fish, anything like that. What media buying is it's placing banners on websites, or it's buying text ads through things like AdSonar, and really buying it on direct sites or buying it through networks. And what I found is it's one of the highest ROI ways that you can buy media, but a lot of people view it as risky and expensive. I mean, they're not wrong when they say it's risky and expensive. I can show you my screen now. Wonderful. You can see my screen, I assume. So I got a slideshow. Media buying, traditionally when I got into media buying, it was really hard to start media buying. You have to plop down at least $5,000 to start buying through a network, or even more to start buying through a direct site, and lost a phenomenal amount of money. When I started, just because I didn't know what I was doing, I remember placing a buy on BleacherReport.com for $5,000, and on that $5,000 buy, I made $200, I think. So I lost $4,800. That really, really sucks, especially if you're using your business to put food on your table and keep your lights on. But once you get the hang of it, the profits that you can make are phenomenal. We've had months through media buying where we've done close to 7 figures in a month just through a media buying campaign. So starting media buying is the same as starting any other affiliate campaign. You got to choose an offer. And in this case, we're going to talk about choosing a direct site placement. What do I mean by direct site placement? A site placement would be, a site you want to buy on. So we're going to talk about buying directly on a site, and we're going to talk about buying through a media buy network like CPX, 247, Real Media, Value Click. Somebody that has a network of direct sites that you can buy through. So there we go. You can choose. So if you already have a placement in mind, so you go, I really want to advertise on MSN.com. You have that in mind. How do you choose an offer to match that? Well, the first thing that I do is I go and look up the demographics. You can do this using Quantcast, Alexa, and Compete. And these are all free and show you limited demographics. So, going there, we can see who the visitors to that website are, what basic incomes they have. You'll have to take the data with a pinch of salt, but, you can get a limited idea of who's visiting that page. Second thing to do, start browsing around the website. Look at what's already running. Are there other affiliates or are there other performance marketers on that website? If so, what are they running? And if they're still running it after a little while, it's probably working. Why would they keep throwing money away? Ask your affiliate manager what's doing well for those demographics, and they'll throw out some offers. And in the same way that you looked up the website's demographics, you can also look up offers demographics or match the demographics based on intuition. If you say, I want to promote a dating offer, and you see that your website has a large percentage of people that are married with kids, it's probably not the best website to promote a dating offer on. The last thing is, never be afraid about media buying. Never be afraid to test offers in small controlled batches. You never know what's going to work. So, testing out various different offers is a good way to, just experiment. And some things that you think would never work could end up being huge winners for you. On the other side, finding placements. You already have an offer. So you're blowing something up on search or social, and you say, I want to pour into media buying. You just want to start. You say, I have a biz offer, I have a cash for gold offer or something, and it's doing real well, and I want to run it on media buy. The first thing to do that a lot of people just don't even think to do, ask the advertiser or the network if they're already buying, and if so, what types of sites is it doing well on? A lot of them, just want more traffic. They'll tell you if it's doing well on a type of site. They may not tell you the exact placement, but they'll tell you types of sites that they think it's doing well on. Do the demographic profile for the offer. Same way, Quantcast, Compete, Alexa, the offer, figure out, who you should be targeting, and then you can compare that to potential placements you can contact and directly buy from. And then, again, test. Don't be afraid to cut stuff. Don't be afraid to cut placements. Don't be afraid to test in more offers for the placements that you've selected for that one offer, more similar offers. So, contacting the webmaster. The thing about placements is you can contact 1,000 webmasters. Most of them won't respond to you. So if you're doing small sites, I say small, I'm saying less than, 100, 200,000 impressions a day. Most of these webmasters won't respond. So contact a lot of them. The ones that respond, some of them will have negotiation terms that you like. Some will want you to pay too much. So you really got to contact a lot to find the gems in the rough. So what I do is I'd make a generic draft template saying, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm looking for, I selected your website, something like that, something formal and something that, you generic so you can use for multiple websites. And then figure out, there are a couple key questions you should be asking. How much inventory do they have available? So how many banner impressions a day or per month do they have available? What kind of CPM? CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions. How much are they going to charge you per 1,000 impressions, or are they going to charge you on a per-click basis? What type of out clause do they have? One out clause is for media buying is, how quickly can you kill the campaign? If it's not working, how quickly can you get out of the agreement? Are there any advertisements they don't allow? Maybe they don't allow free trial offers because of bad experiences they've had with affiliates in the past? So they're going to get back to you. Most of them are going to want high CPM if they're niche sites. So they're going to want, a big CPM. You can buy remnant inventory, or you can negotiate the price down. A lot of them will negotiate. You just have to actually ask for it. Same as you negotiate a higher price on your CPA offers from your network, you negotiate your CPM down. What remnant inventory means, you have two types of inventory, premium and remnant. Premium inventory is, inventory that the visitors first time the website is the first thing they see. Remnant inventory is inventory a website can't sell, so they have it left over, so they'll sell it to you at a lot lower price, so that can really drop your CPM. Can you exclude anybody you don't want to target? So does the website offer demographic targeting options? A lot of websites offer behavioral and demographic targeting options. In the same way that you can set targeting options on Facebook or in search, you can also set them in media buying, not necessarily at the same accuracy level, but you can still ask. Who hosts the creative? So do you host it on your servers, or do they host it on their servers? Who tracks the delivery? If you have an ad server, or if you have a counter, whose count do they go by? Do you go by their count for billing, or do you go by your count? Are there refunds? So this is a problem I got into. As I said, I buy on Bleacher Report. After spending about $2,000, I realized, oh geez, it's really not working. I've spent $2,000. I've only made back, like $80. And I went to them, and I was due. I didn't realize. I said, can I have my money back? And they said, no. In the insertion order that you signed, you agreed to spend all your money with us. So I had to spend through that the rest of $3,000, even though I knew I'd be losing a bunch of money doing it. And then what are the terms to buy? Can you buy on a CPA, which is awesome if you can? Can you buy on a CPM or a CPC? So you have your websites. You pick them out. Now you got to actually make banners. So, a few things that you may not know. Simple and ugly works. Some of my best creatives I've made in Paint. I've taken an image off Google, I put some text on, it works. It sticks out from all this stuff. Never, ever, ever use stock creatives from the network. If you go into your affiliate network and you select an offer and they have a bunch of banner sizes, never use those. They never perform as well as something that you're gonna make. Test multiple offers in one creative. You can do this through HTML ads. You can do this through an ad server like SiteScout's ad server. I saw a question pop up. I'm gonna answer questions at the end of each section, and then keep going so that you don't forget. And then try multiple styles on every new buy. Each website's unique. What works on one website may not work on another, so test out different types of ads. Obviously, if you see one trend that's working on a whole bunch of sites, weight the impression towards that. And then don't be afraid to think outside the box and then cut stuff quickly. So don't be afraid to test out all sorts of new stuff. If you're driving, you have an idea, test it out. Send it 10,000 impressions, then cut it if it's not working. It's worth testing. You never know what'll work. So, rotation and banner blindness. Rotate multiple offers that cover the same demographic on a website. Pretty self-explanatory. For example, grants and BizOp cover the same type of buyer demographic. So if you find a website that you think BizOp's doing well on, rotate both of them. That way your banners last longer because they're seeing two different types of offers, and you can capitalize on the same person twice. When conversions start to fall, swap out offers into another offer of the same niche. Maybe they're scrubbing you. Maybe that people have seen that offer for too long and will respond to a different offer. And then split test in new offers all the time for the same reason. People have banner blindness. If they see the same banner all the time, they're going to start ignoring it. So you're swapping new banners, you're swapping new offers to keep stuff fresh. So as I said, people start to become immune to banners. Some stuff that you can do. You can swap in different banners, or you can test small variations. For example, you can put borders on your ads. You can put in background color. You can put in different images in the center. You can put sparkling animated graphics on your ads. Something to just change the banner slightly, but keep the core message the same. So that was a really, really fast run through. I'm going to answer questions on this. Then I'm going to go into how you can get started media buying for under $500 on a couple different sources. Then I'll talk about whereitrunswhere.com. How do I slow down a bit? I'm sorry. I guess I'm talking a bit fast. Do you guys have any questions about what I said so far? I don't want you guys to really save them to the end because you might forget it.
Well, there's one question, but I took a chance and answered it when you spoke about CPM. That is cost per 1,000, right? CPM.
Exactly.
Okay. I've been around this a long time, but I'm never sure what I'm talking about.
CPM stands for cost per 1,000 impressions. CPC is cost per click. CPA is cost per action. So a CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions, not unique impressions, but cost per 1,000 impressions. So a couple things to negotiate in a media buy. If you go to a network and negotiate, this is in the presentation, but I'll talk about it. You have something called a frequency cap. What a frequency cap means is it's the number of times in a day that a user can see your ad. My favorite frequency cap number is 3 per 24 hours, so they can see my ad a maximum of 3 times. If you don't frequency cap, a user could reload your page 1,000 times, and you'd be charged 1,000 impressions there. So that's an important thing to do so that you don't, oversaturate your user base too quickly. A lower CPM will allow the user to see it less times, but if they keep coming back on different days, they'll see the ad again and again. Going to networks to buy is a bit different than going to direct sites. You would contact the network. The minimum buy-in for most networks is between $2,000 and $5,000 for a direct network like ValueClick. You would get a rep, you give them the creatives, and they'd go out and they'd find sites that they think it'll do well on, put it there, and then optimize the sites for you. So it's more, full service, but they charge more, they take a premium on it, and there's no guarantee, and you have less control of what you're doing. But in the same way, you can do that. Are there any questions, or should I just keep going? Guys, feel free to ask questions.
No, I think we're okay. We'll keep going at it. There was somebody asking about a rotation slide, but I don't think we want to go back and look at slides again. This thing will be available. Okay, yeah, if you can fill out on that one a bit.
Right here. So what I'm talking about in rotation, as I said, rotate multiple offers that cover the same demographic. So let's say that I go in and I'm going to make up a website. Let's say it's called, Max's Muscle and Bodybuilding Forum.com, and I'm advertising there. The first thing that comes to mind for me to advertise, is a muscle offer, you can grab them on CPA networks, which is a free trial. But if I just advertise one offer, I'm only gonna get to a percentage of the people there, and they're gonna grow bored of it quickly. So why don't, if it's my bodybuilding and weight loss forum, why don't I try rotating a diet offer as well? And then if I see that a lot of these members also like movies, I could try like rotating in Netflix offers. Just figure out what the people on that website like, and just start rotating in multiple offers and testing in multiple offers to see what else will perform with your demographics. So that so that the users don't get bored of your offers and your creative stay fresh longer, as well as you can capitalize on the same user twice. Let's say it's a bad example. Let's say it's Netflix and muscle products. If I have a user that's looking to build muscles and watch movies, he can convert on both of mine. Well, if I'm just showing him muscle product, he will never have the chance to convert on Netflix for me. So now a couple media buying basics. There's obviously a bit more to it. But how do you get started? Well, as I said, you can go to a network and you can contact direct sites. Put down anywhere from $100 to a couple grand to do a buy on one site, or you can go to a media buying network and put down between $2,000 and $5,000 to start there. But I'm going to give you a way to test multiple networks and figure out which ones are worth your time, so you don't waste networks. Then test multiple single sites for almost no money. So I'm going to go into single sites first. A bunch of you probably heard of them. They're some good friends of mine. Sitescout.com. What they are is they're DSP, so a display service provider. What they do is they take inventory from Google, from Rubicon, from AdBright, and they make it available to you to bid on a per site basis through banners. So you submit your banners, and in one central location, you can bid on multiple websites. On single sites, you can bid on multiple single websites and test it, and you bid for the impression, same as you'd bid for a keyword in Google. What this allows you to do is it allows you to test a bunch of single websites for relatively low money, because you can test it and then you can cut them extremely quickly too. It's completely self-service. So in the same way that, as I said at the beginning, you research your demographics. You research the demographics of the site within SiteScout, you research the demographics of your offers, and you start buying there, and you just test and you cut stuff out. And I mean, a lot of affiliates are having a lot of success on SiteScout. They have a great product. Their margins are razor thin for providing the service. And you get access to a whole bunch of inventory that you can test through. And their minimum deposit's $500. So that gives you a way to, start buying on for single sites. If you want to start buying on networks, here's how I got started media buying and how I really started doing well media buying. I started doing network media buying, so I went to, Value Click and all those kind of places. But before I did that, I used something called adbuyer.com. And what adbuyer.com allows you to do, they have a nifty little feature that allows you to buy remnant inventory from all these major networks that you'd have to pay, $2,000 to $5,000 to go and start buying at. And when you sign up for an AdBuyer account, you can put in $500, and then you can bid on all these networks. You're going to get slightly crappy inventory, and it may not be the highest converting inventory, but it can give you an idea of what networks work and what networks are, best to do. So let me give you an example. I would start buying for a diet campaign. It has a $30 CPA. I spent $500, and lo and behold, I look and I show that Extend Media has a couple conversions, and Value Click has some conversions, but Redux Media and Heron Media Network are sending me a bunch of spend, but they have no conversions. It's remnant inventory. It's not their premium inventory, but that can give me an idea. If I see it being close to breaking even or breaking even, I can go directly to those networks and then put in a bigger buy for a couple $1,000s and start buying there. And it gives me a way to limit my risk. A lot of what I talk about from here on out is about limiting your risk and about, how to media buy, because media buying is inherently risky. You're dealing with a lot of money. It's about, how to limit your risk and how to spend less money to do more. Because when you find something that's working with media buying, it's great. You make a whole bunch of money really quickly. So it's about how to limit that risk. Was there a question? Anyways, so and that's what runs where it does, and that's what a lot of these self-service networks do. Using SiteScout, if you find a site that's working, or you find something else that's working there, you can always go directly to that site's owner and negotiate buying that inventory directly. But all these give you a platform to test it. So I'm gonna give a bit of, shameless promotion on what runs where here, and I'm gonna give a campaign example as well. Give away a couple trade secrets. So as we've said, what runs where is media buying intelligence. So the same way that SEMrush or SpyFood is search intelligence, we provide media buying intelligence, and we're the most comprehensive, we're the only solution that you should be using. So I'm gonna show you just the inside what runs where. So this is the inside of what runs where. What we can do. So if we're interested in something, let's say diet, we can type in diet as a keyword search. We can search banner ads and text ad media buy networks. So text ad media buy networks are networks like AdSonar or Pulse 360, which allow you to do media buys but through text. And banner ads, are, as I said, like 247 Real Media, Value Click, AdBright, Advertising.com. So we're gonna search diet, and what runs where it'll do is it'll pull up relevant diet banners. And why is this useful? Because we can sort of look at what different competing advertisers in the space are doing, and we can limit our risk on creatives. We can get new creative ideas. So if we see a lot of creatives being really similar, it may be a good thing for you to test in your campaigns or start with as a starting point, so that you don't waste money testing out new creatives that may not work. And then we can also see the placement. So let's say I'm interested. I see a whole bunch of muscle creatives. I got ripped in 4 weeks. So I'm gonna click on this. It'll load in a second. So we can see, this ad's been running for 90 days. The domain's been running for 380 days. It's probably working. Why would they keep it running for 90 days if it wasn't working? We can show where exactly did we find this advertisement. This is where this tool becomes really, really powerful. So, we can see all the places that what runs where found this advertisement. So all the websites they're advertising on, how they bought it, the type of media, and then, a relative score of how well it's doing. So, we can take each of these websites and put it into Alexa or Quadcast and start to get a demographic profile of the website and the type of people this website's looking to target. So we can match it to existing placements on SiteScout, or go to network and give them those demographics. We can also look at the domain in total and, see all the different places that the domain's buying. It's not just that banner, but the domain. We can look at all their landing page URLs. And, out of respect for this affiliate, whoever it is, I'm not going to show that. We can see if they own any other domains. So they obviously own a bunch of other domains. We can see how they're actually buying that inventory. And I mean, that's really important. And then you can see, ad server association. If you're a bit more of an advanced media buyer, you can see, if a small network, if a small, affiliate syndicate, you can see if they're actually promoting this. And so we can see all sorts of different banner styles that we could test if we were looking to build a muscle campaign, and we can go through all of those as well. So in the same way, we could search for advertisers themselves. So if I'm going to do something more generic because I don't want to be outing anybody's campaigns, but if we want to look for an advertiser like Groupon.com, and we're like, let's see what Groupon's doing across the web. We can just search for Groupon.com. It may take a second to load because we have a ton of data on it. But, we'll quickly and easily be able to see all the different places Groupon's buying, all the different banners they're using, all the different domains they own. And this is useful because, we can complete demographic profiles for them, for their traffic sources. We can complete ad profiles for the type of ads they're using, and quickly export this all to our home computer, and then we can limit the risk when we actually go to buy. So we can see, they have almost 4,000 unique traffic sources, and we can, go through them and see which ones have been running the longest, or which ones, stuff like that. We can look through all the different text ads and see what they're doing and come up with ideas, and we can export that all with one click. Same thing with hybrid ads. We can look through all their different banners. We get ideas about new things. If I have my own daily deal site, I'd maybe want to be monitoring what Groupon's doing. We can look through, their flash banners as well. In the same way, how I said, you're looking at placements and you're looking to see, before you go, you start monitoring who's buying on that placement. Well, we offer that as well. We offer a placement search. So let's say we want to do a buy on wellness.com. We can hit search here, And what this will do is it'll pull up a profile on wellness.com. So we can see, there have been, in the past 30 days, there have been 349 unique advertisers on wellness.com. JustAnswer.com is the most popular one. We can look at the top banner ads on that website. We can look at, the top text to hybrid ads on that website. We can look at, where you can actually go and buy those ads on this website by looking at ad sources. So 98% of it's through Google. We can look through ad types. So, you can see that 98% of it's text. You can look at banner hosts, so where they're storing it, iframes, where they're serving it from. So that's really powerful because as, a media buyer, somebody that's looking to get into media buying, this allows you to sort of research both websites and your competitors before you even start going to limit your risk. Also, something that we just introduced that I'm really excited about is you can also do domain tracking. What this is, so going back to Groupon.com, let's say I'm Living Social or I'm, another daily deal site. I can track Groupon.com. So every time Groupon launches a new text ad, it'll show me, the new text ad and the date they launched. So I can actually view when they launched these text ads. When they launched new text ads, when we found them, I can view progression. And I can mark them as seen. So if I mark them as seen, they go away from the new, but I can still view them in historical. And what this allows you to do is if you have a competitor, you have a website that is competing with you, you can keep tabs on your competition. And that's really, really powerful because you can get new ideas based on what they're doing, and you can also see how they progress when they launch new split tests and what they're really doing. And what all this data really allows you to do is really powerfully buy on these networks. We also, provide a lot of data on text networks. I'm going to show you a little trick to help you buy on AdSonar. AdSonar is one of my favorite websites, traffic sources to buy from. What we can do with AdSonar is we can set the time period to 5 days. We can set it to the United States, and we can leave the keyword blank. But what this will do is it'll pull every single advertisement we found on AdSonar in the past 5 days into a window. What we can then do is we can sort by ad strength, so whatrunswhere.com thinks is doing best, and we can see, top ads, and then we can spot trends between the top ads and figure out, what's really hot on that network, and then we can go see, if we can buy something similar. So I see a whole bunch of, just looking really quickly, I see a whole bunch of BizOp stuff here. So BizOp may be something that you may want to go and test on AdSonar. And then where do we go and test it? Well, you can click on the ad and you can see all the different placements that all these different sites are buying, and you can either try testing out those direct placements, or what I say you should do is, look up demographics on those placements and then find other websites on the AdSonar platform that share those demographics, as that'll really allow you to test a whole range of stuff. So I'll give you an example of how I did that. So we set up a skincare campaign, and we set it up using What Runs Where. So what we did is we went in and saw that skincare was really hot on AdSonar. So we took a bunch of the ads and we modified them to be our own, and we created our own website based on that report. And then we did the demographic research. So we didn't just rip placements and we didn't rip ads. We modified them to be our own, and we came up with a list of skincare placements. And the first day we ran it, lost a couple $1,000s. That's because I set a huge budget and we had a whole bunch of placements. But then we started to optimize, and we saw that there were only 1 or 2 websites that were doing really well. But What Runs Where it helped us identify those. So at the end of the day, coming a month later, we've optimized this to profitability, and we ended up grossing about $120,000 that month on the skincare campaign, and walked away with about $40,000 of profit that month. Not bad. The websites that did really well for us, People.com and TMZ.com were 2 of our biggest profit drivers for our skincare campaign. I'm not sure if they still will be. You can try them at your own risk, but that was really great. This was, 8 to 10 months ago. So that's an example of, how we use What Runs Where to limit our risk. So instead of going network-wide and testing a whole bunch of stuff and trying to come up with our own creatives, we were able to see what other people did. We were able to see, where other people advertised and limit our risk. And what I tell affiliates when they ask us about What Runs Where, I say, if you can't make your money back using What Runs Where within a couple days, within a month, for the entire year, you're probably in the wrong business. We give you really simple, concise information. I mean, before I go into how much all this costs or anything like that, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Cost-wise, we cost $229 a month or $2,500 a year. And some people are saying, this may be a bit expensive compared to other services like SpyFu or something. But that's because we offer something that no one else offers, which is media buying intelligence. Media buying, has been a really closed off, secretive world where, a lot of the big boys have dominated. We're really making it affordable and easy to enter into and do well in. And what we've actually done for OfferVault is we've created a coupon to drop your cost of month one to $184, so 20% off. So if you go to whatrunswhere.com, and I'm going to just show you where to go. You go here and you go to our pricing page and you click our monthly package. There'll be a coupon slot where you can put in OfferVault and you'll get a coupon discount. So with that being said, are there any questions about What Runs Where? Any questions about media buying in general? And if there are none, I've been an affiliate for a long time. I'm happy to answer any of your basic affiliate marketing questions as well. I'm here to help and give back a bit. So I'll open it up to you guys, and we'll do Q&A for half an hour if there are any.
I'm just looking at the list here, and one sort of question maybe about other sources out there. What do you think of traffic providers such as RealTrafficSource.com, BulkTraffic.com, and others like that? Any opinions there?
Well, never heard of any of those. So that's probably a bad sign in the first place. I've been media buying for 3.5 years, and I bought through almost every major media buying network in the world. So a lot of these bulk traffic providers, what they're doing, they're reselling you, really, really bad traffic, or they're just arbitraging traffic back to you. If I'm looking to buy traffic through a network, I wouldn't buy through them. I'd buy, I'd start buying through ad buyers so I can limit my risk. Or I'd go and I'd buy through an established network like ValueClick, like, 247 Real Media, like Extend, like Adtegrity.com, like XA.net. I buy through somebody that's established and actually sends quality traffic. There's a team that can help me optimize. What I found is you can go to all these little networks, and I've tested a bunch of them. You end up throwing away a couple $100, not getting a single conversion back, and they send you quote unquote bulk traffic, but it's really just garbage or just redirects, or it's a banner on a pop-up site and that they re-leverage. So I'd advise not advertising on those type of websites, with those type of websites.
And here's one from somebody interested in the program. Do you get any coaching with the service that you're offering the folks tonight?
We're not in the coaching business. We offer a service. Obviously, I'm here to answer basic questions, but I'm not going to sit down and spend hours and hours a day helping people get up and going. If you're looking for coaching, we have some good friends, Lorenzo Green and Jordan over at Stack That Money. They run a great forum, and I think I don't know how much it is, but we're active over there as well, responding to threads, and they have a great media buying community. But in terms of coaching, it's something that you have to learn yourself. We're in the business of providing a service, and we provide the best service that we can, and we spend most of our time looking to improve the service, add more actionable data into it, and continue to make it better for everybody involved.
And follow up to that, I think anybody who's looking for media buying, coaching, and information, take a look through the OfferVault list of webinars. There's a number in there that have been presented by some pretty experienced people who teach you all the ins and outs of media buying and how it works. And there's a good place to start.
Great place to start. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, back to this special offer, and I'm asking because it might be something other folks are considering. Will the coupon apply to someone buying a yearly membership all at once?
No, the coupon only applies for month one. So that drops our month one down to, $184. If you want to buy the yearly membership, which is $2,500, it's going to still cost $2,500. You're still saving, $250 on the year. And I'll tell a quick story. We ran one other webinar with the keywordrockstar.com guys. And 2 days later, I got an email from one of the members that bought a yearly subscription. He said, thank you so much. I bought your yearly subscription. I've already made back my full year. This is a couple days later. He goes, I've already made back my full year using your data, and has been, thanking us ever since. And I'm sure we'll see him year after year. I mean, as I say, if you can't make your money back using this data, you're really in probably the wrong business, or you shouldn't be media buying in the first place. It's not for you. We make it super easy. I was actually begged not to give this webinar by a couple of our paying customers because they make so much money using our data, and they don't want other people to get in there and jack up prices for them. I'm not joking.
Well, I think that might be against the trust legislation, FCC combine rules or something for them to come along and tell you that. Anyway, here's some questions on media buying itself and what you've been talking about. What exactly is real-time bidding, and if so, do you recommend it? And the example he's giving is AppNexus. I don't know what that means.
So AppNexus is similar to SiteScout, being that they're a DSP, display service provider. Real-time bidding means, in the same way, that's what SiteScout does. So what real-time bidding is the same thing Google does. So in Google, when you go and buy a keyword and you advertise it on search, you're bidding against tons of other advertisers for that keyword. And then when that keyword gets searched in real time, it establishes, are you going to win what position for that keyword? Real-time bidding and media buying through something like AppNexus, which is a great company, by the way, and SiteScout, what they allow you to do is in the same way you bid on inventory. So if you're bidding 10 cents and I'm bidding 12 cents, at the time when somebody loads up that page and the site registers hit, it sends to AppNexus, and AppNexus looks, do I have available budget, and am I bidding more? And if I am, I win that impression over you. So I get to serve my banner to that person and you don't. And yeah, absolutely. Real-time bidding is a way for you to get cheap inventory. You only bid what you want. And if inventory meets that criteria, so if there's remnant inventory that's cheaper, if there's no way else bidding on the inventory, you'll get the inventory. So it's a great way to get cheap inventory and test stuff. And using self-serve platforms like SiteScout or using something like AppNexus, you can absolutely get that kind of inventory.
I'm not sure if this is an issue because of what you're actually sorting out. It should report this, but does it track mobile inventory?
No, I mean mobile inventory is something that we don't track. We intend to in the future, but it's something that nobody tracks right now. There's a lot of opportunities in mobile, but still, a developing space. I compare mobile to what e-commerce was back in the earlier 2000s. Everybody knows there's money there, but nobody knows really how to get to the honeypot yet. And people will start to figure out, people will make a phenomenal amount of money. But the thing with mobile inventory, there's so many different targeting options. It's infinitely more complex. You can target by phone, by region, by carrier, by operating system version. So there's all sorts of stuff you can do in mobile. I mean, I haven't bought mobile, so I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to talk about something that I don't know. I'm really good at media buying, so that's what I'd rather continue talking about.
Nice to have an honest response. If you don't know, don't try to explain it. That's my problem. I don't understand any of this stuff. Here's a rather lengthy one, so let's see if I can get through it. How do you choose specific markets to target when you're promoting an offer? I'm finding it difficult to find specific markets to attract on a specific offer. For example, attracting single moms to a home education offer. How do you choose specific markets? And are you able to gauge success for certain markets after you've done this for a while? It's a pretty hefty question, basically, is how to succeed.
By markets, do you mean websites, or by markets, do you mean just like demographic groups? Because
I think they're probably looking for demographic groups as opposed to specific websites. Yeah, Simon's saying, demographically. How do you do that?
Demographically, I mean, the first thing I do is I'd look at the offer. I'd look at, the demographics of the offer through Alexa, through Quantcast, through Compete, and then build a demographic profile there. And as I've said from the beginning, I'd build, a site profile, and I could quickly match those demographics to demographics of other similar websites. How do I know if it's working or not? Well, the only thing that matters in media buying is what you have is an eCPA, which is, if you spend $30 and get one action, your eCPA will be $30. If you spend $50 and get two actions, your eCPA will be $25. As long as you're, earned CPA is lower than the CPA you're getting paid, you're making money. So, I mean, it's really not about if the demographics are working. It's about if your CPA is lower than what you're getting paid. So if you spend, my rule of thumb, it really changes, depends, but if I'm testing out placements really quickly, if I spend, 3 to 4 times my offer CPA and don't get a single conversion, if I'm getting conversions in other places, so I know it's not my banners. I mean, my banners are working in other places. I'll probably move on, but in certain cases, I may spend more or I may spend less. It's really gut feeling there, and that's something that you have to learn how to do. But what people forget about marketing, they get super obsessed about click-through rate, and they get obsessed about, landing page click-through, all that kind of stuff. Those are all important metrics to look at, but the only metric that matters at the end of the day is your CPA, and if it's lower than the CPA that you're getting paid. And that's how I would evaluate success.
What do you think was your biggest challenge to overcome when you first started to do media buys? And did you have to change any mindsets you might have had from previous affiliate marketing tactics or experiences? There's a good question, because this is new to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest challenges that we had to overcome is we were buying a campaign. One of our first big campaigns was buying a government grant campaign in Canada. And we started out with some really, really pretty banners. And the first lesson I learned the hard way is ugly works. We threw in an ugly banner, just as a joke to just test it out. And our CTR was like 4 times that of any other banner. And our CPA was super high on it. We went, hey, this is working. Maybe we should try this. And ugly works. People respond to ugly banners. It looks more authentic, more homemade, and people really respond to that. I mean, the other thing that we learned the hard way is the stuff with the frequency capping. We didn't frequency cap at the beginning, and we got killed on impressions. A couple other hard lessons. Single site buys. Never just assume because you think a site is going to do well, it's going to do well. So as I said, with Bleacher Report, we plopped in a whole bunch of money. It did terribly. It looked like a home run. I thought, hey, it's a sports website. These people are going to be interested in muscle building, so why don't we try advertising that there? Didn't work at all. Well, other, smaller websites that may not have anything to do with muscle building actually work. So test everything, and then also find ways to limit your risk.
Now, when you're talking about the capabilities of what runs where, does this actually give you an indication of what ad is working best?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a filter called ad strength, which is a measure of what we think is doing best. So when you go back in, I'll get off this page quickly. When you go back in and, we can search something, say, or we'll go back to the ad sonar example. And you search a time frame in a country, United States. We can adjust this to ad strength, and what that allows us to do is see which banners we think are doing best based on, and that's a compilation of how long it's been running, how many times we've seen it, how frequently we've seen it, and using that we can predict what we think is doing best, so we can show you what we think is doing best on those networks.
I mean, essentially what you're doing, well, I was just going to make a comment, and essentially you're grabbing this information out there from all of these sites, and I'm assuming some of this is coming from Google and all other relevant places.
Absolutely.
As to how everybody's performing. Are there any issues in terms of using this information?
No, I mean, you have to be respectful of trademarks. So with banners, a lot of websites have trademarks, and a lot of websites have brands. You can't infringe on brands. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. You'd have to check with one about it. But in terms of using the actionable data on placements and all that kind of stuff, go for it. I mean, we just give it to you in an easy way. ComScore does the same thing. They have a product called AdMetrics that you can use. Problem with AdMetrics by ComScore is they're going to charge you between $40,000 and $60,000 a year to use their product.
Well, that's a big difference. A couple of questions about Facebook. Does this track Facebook ads?
No, we have a couple contacts at Facebook. We want to talk to them. There's no way. It's against their terms of service, and we have to log in and sign that to scrape their ads. We do not cover any kind of Facebook ads.
Yeah, you don't want to annoy him. We know what happens when you try to sue that guy. You end up in the movies looking like an idiot.
Yeah, that, or you get a lawsuit at your doorstep, and we don't want that.
No, not at all. What ad server do you use for tracking banners, and apart from yours, and what other ad servers do you recommend that are cost effective for, I guess, people
Okay, so
starting out?
we're not an ad server. I just want to make that clear. If you want free ad server, OpenX is great. There are limitations to what it can do. In terms of paid ad servers, there are three main ones: Ad Shuffle, Zito, and Site Scout. My favorite one by far is Site Scout. That's where they started. They started out making an ad server. It's extremely cheap. But when I started buying, I didn't use an ad server. I was buying through network buys or self-serve platforms, which have an ad server built in. So I just give them the banners. The advantage in ad server is that you can swap out your banners. You can do your own optimization really quickly. So with a network, if I give them banners, it may take them, half a day to get them up. With an ad server, you can get it done instantaneously. But I didn't really know about it or didn't need it. But ad servers add in a lot more cost to the media buying process. So if you're looking to get started, I just suggest going directly and, not using an ad server or using a free ad server.
Here's an interesting one. Have you bought media driving traffic to local businesses, or do you stick only with affiliate type offers?
No, I mean, you could do it, but I like scale. If you're buying into local businesses, you need to specify them like a specific region, and then you're just not going to get a ton of impressions in it, and it makes it harder. You can do it, but when I look to buy a media buying campaign, I look for something that I can blow up wide, and get to 5 figures a day of traffic on. Not something that I can spend $20 a day on one website on.
And here's one of those loaded questions that really needs to be asked by most of us at some point in time. What kind of money do I need to get going? For example, if I'm subscribing to What Runs Where, pardon me, my dentures are loose. What Runs Where? How much money am I going to have to get started buying? Will $500 a month in actual buying be profitable?
I mean, I can't tell.
$750 a month. Is that reasonable, or is there a point at which you just can't do it?
I mean, I can't tell you if you're going to be profitable or not. No one can. That's up to you, and that's up to how you work. And there's an element of luck involved as well. I'm a firm believer there's luck involved with anything. If you pick a site and starts performing off the bat, you could have done some research, but there's a bit of luck involved in that as well. I mean, with that kind of budget, you can absolutely start buying and testing stuff out. And, using what runs where to limit your risk, you'll be able to make that money go a lot further. So instead of, throwing $500 out there and hoping it works, you'll be able to come with a strategy and seeing what other people have done and come with something that, has a much higher chance of working. So yeah, you can start media buying with $750 for sure. If you do it through these self-serve platforms like SiteScout and AdBuyer. If you want to buy through, networks, you're gonna need a bit more money. When I started media buying, I mean, I started out with $500. I started out with $500 on AdBuyer, and I found something that was working, and then I scaled it out to the point where I was spending quite a lot of money per day.
Can you show the ad strength for banner ads instead of the text ads?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to think about how to do it in a way. We can look at the thing about text ads is text ads. I can look up, an affiliate centric network like AdSonar or like Pulse that has a lot of affiliates advertising on it. With something like any of these, banner ad networks, they'll have a lot of brands advertising it on it as well. So if I search through ValueClick and hopefully, I don't pull up hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of results, it's maybe a bit slow. I'm going to get some brands as the top ads that are running through ValueClick because brands go onto these places as well, and they do large buys.
While we're waiting for that, there's been a couple of questions about what foreign countries or what languages will What Runs Where track. And I notice you've got a country to search, so I'm assuming you can search this searches the entire web, or does it stick strictly to a country you specify?
We support 4 countries. We're the only, international scraper of this type. We support Canada, the UK, Australia, and the US. We have the most data in the US because there's the most demand for it, and it's the biggest market. The search is too big. Searching ValueClick and blank, it's pulling up a couple million results probably, and that's not. If I search,
that's a lot of little banners to throw up.
Exactly. What did I do? I'm breaking stuff now. That's not good. I'll just search diet and show the most popular diet. Um, and then I searched by ad strength in the past 5 days. See, YoPlate is the one that we see doing the best there. And then Walmart has diet on their page and energy diet. And then there's some ITAM weight loss. Then there's an affiliate banner here. So, you scroll down. You can also use filters to take out things that you don't want to see. So if you're like, I don't want to see Walmart, you can just take it out. Um, but, we can sort anything by ad strength. Any other questions?
You're talking about scaling nationwide, but what about international?
Okay,
can you take this data out and use it for an international research
absolutely.
comparison?
Well, here's what I'd say. Each country is different. Each country has, its own unique twist, and you have to learn that by advertising in the country. That's why we offer 4 different English-speaking countries, so you can, compare what's happening in those countries in terms of the type of advertisers that are there and how affiliates are promoting stuff and the type of sites they're buying on. Because, for example, I'm in Canada right now. We have a news source called CBC, which is cbc.ca, which is different than MSNBC in the U.S. So Canadians may go there, and you might want to advertise there for Canadians, but you wouldn't know that if you were just looking at the U.S. because nobody's going to advertise on CBC in the U.S. because Americans just don't go there really. A lot of stuff between English-speaking countries is cross-transferable because it speaks the same language, so you can tailor your advertising, you can tweak it a bit, and bring it across multiple countries. But if you're going internationally, you can use the same principles, or you can use banners from one country for inspiration. So you can, say, I saw a really cool banner in the U.S. Let's see if it'll do well in Brazil, or if it'll do well in Argentina, or if it'll do well in Africa somewhere. And you can use those ideas, but I wouldn't recommend, just taking something that's working in the U.S. and assume it'll work somewhere else. There are different cultural factors and different language factors.
Well, definitely language is something you have to be careful with because literal translations, when it comes to the buying public, are often confused with slang and other sort of
it's not
composed
just
terms.
Big brands make these mistakes all the time. One example I love to bring up is that, KFC, when they went into China, they translated stuff wrong. Instead of, being finger licking good, the literal translation of their ads meant finger eating good. So it was like, you eat your own fingers? But
well, we won't go there.
It was weird, but, you can make translation errors and stuff like that. So, there's a bit more going into international countries than, just quickly taking something that's working in the U.S., throwing it into a translator and just throwing it up.
Okay, now here's one to ask about the various competitors again. What do these other ad networks offer that Google Display Network doesn't?
So they offer other inventory. There are tons of sites across the web that don't use Google's display network. So how these ad networks operate is they go to publishers and they say, we can get you the most money. We can make you the most money. Give us your inventory and we'll find you advertisers that will pay you the most for it. So they have their own stable of different advertisers that well, by advertisers I mean placements. They have different websites that are through their network that they can sell inventory for that Google may not have access to. So it gives you more reach and more scope. Also, the wonderful thing about buying through these networks is the regulations are a lot more lax than with Google. You can get away with a lot more stuff. Google is infamous for its Google slap, and it has a lot of rules and regulations. Media buying, you have a lot less rules and regulations, and you can do a lot more.
Well, the way Google's been mistreating people the last couple of years, I think everybody's looking for alternatives since they've decided they are king of the hill, and at the push of a button they can destroy millions of lives. Better to look for alternatives, even if they're not as high performing as Google, just to have something in the backup.
I wouldn't even say that. I've done very well buying on Google, but on Media Buy, if you can find a niche site. We used to buy, for a BizOp lead gen on a website that doesn't accept advertising anymore called virtualvocations.com. We were buying on virtual locations, and we were buying at like a 50-cent CPA because the traffic there was so targeted and converted so well on an offer that paid us, $5. You can get that ROI on Google, but it's going to be hard. You can get that ROI with media buying. You just need to find the correct types of places.
How exactly is ad strength calculated?
As I've said, I mean, that's a bit of secret sauce, but the basics of it are, how long has the ad been running? How many times have we seen it? And how frequently has it popped up? And you get a score for each of those, add them together, and you get ad strength.
And what's a good CTR when you're running banners, in your
It all
opinion?
depends. I mean, it really depends. It depends on, the CPA you're getting paid. It depends on the CPM that you're paying. It's all relative, which is why I stressed at the very beginning. I mean, the real importance is your CPA. What are you making back? What is your CPA coming in on the site you're advertising on? I'll give you a mathematical example. I'm paying $1 per 1,000 impressions on website A. I'm getting paid $2, and I have a 50% conversion rate. So half the people that click on my website, convert into users. Based on that logic, I need 2 out of 1,000 people to click on my banner to break even. So that means, I have a 0.2% click-through rate is what I need. Now, let's say on the next website, I'm paying a 10-cent CPM, and I have the same metrics. I need 2 out of 10,000 people to click on my banner to break even. So my CTR could be wildly different, but, my profitability is still the same. So it's all relative. You always, you want your CTR to be high, and it's relative to the other banners you're running. So you never stop optimizing. You keep launching new split tests in new ways. You test out different types of different calls to action. Click here to get now, order now, read my story. Do whatever. Try it now, something like that. You test out different calls to action. You test out different background colors. You test out different images. You keep trying to jack your click-through rate up as high as possible while maintaining a good conversion rate.
Well, when you were running through what runs where, you were getting stats on views. In other words, that's telling you how many times that ad has been seen, correct? So how many impressions it's had.
No, it's telling me how many times what runs where seen it, which is completely different than how many times it's been seen, in the real world. What I use the stats within what runs where as a relative measure. So if I seen it being seen more, to me that's saying, hey, it's more popular. If I see it's been seen 100 times, it may have been seen 1,000,000 times, but what runs where is seen 100 times, so it's telling me it's relatively more important. So I can use that to figure out what placements it's being seen on more. And that'll tell me what placements, if you're being seen on it more, there are 2 reasons. One, you can be buying more inventory on, or you can be being dumped remnant inventory, but it's still probably worth testing. And then I can see what ads are being seen the most, by ad strength, and what ads are, the most popular, and I can start to, figure out maybe this is something I should test. What I like to do when I go through what runs where is see something. If something catches my eye, I'll test it immediately. And, the reason that I would do that is just because, worst case, I spend 10, 20, 40, 60, even $100 to test an ad. But then if I find a winner, I'll make many times that back.
How far back can you look at the data that what runs where collects?
So our U.S. data goes back around 750 to 800 days because we've been doing this for a long time. And our Canada, U.S., and Australia data goes back about 150 days because we introduced those right then.
So that's still pretty deep in terms of when you figure the activity it's catching.
And it's constantly expanding. Every day you can go back another day because you have more data. Our data is constantly streaming in. I want to make something clear. Somebody may sign up and they go, hey, Max, I'm signing up, and then you're going to go steal my campaign because you can see what I'm searching for. Firstly, we don't track that. Secondly, I don't run campaigns anymore. The only campaigns I run on media are for whatrunswhere.com. And I mean, we're focused on this. I'm not here to steal your campaigns. I want to make that very clear because I know some people, as an affiliate, I was very paranoid, and I mean, I would have wanted to hear that too.
Okay, as a rule of thumb, and I have 2 thumbs, neither one of them pays attention to rules. What price do you start at for CPM? Like on a $10 CPA insurance offer?
Depends.
Again, it depends.
Completely depends on the website. For example, if I'm buying crap traffic from somewhere, I may buy a 10-cent CPM. Well, if I'm buying premium inventory from a well-known website, I may go up to a couple dollars for the CPM. I mean, we're not branders. I personally would never pay over, a $4 or $5 CPM, and $4 or $5 is pretty high for, me personally. Um, but where I've really seen CPMs is between, a 10 cent and $2 range, depending on the website you're buying on.
Can you get a list of every ad network available?
Through what runs where?
Oh, there you are. Sign up and it'll tell you.
But no, but I'm saying through what runs where in the world.
I guess through what? Well, I guess in the world, what might be the generic question. I'm not aware of a
I'm gonna show you through what runs where. So I mean, we support Google Content, 247 Real Media, Travel Fusion, Rubicon, Buy Still Ads, ValueClick, Blue Lithium, AdBright, Technorati, Burst, Advertising.com, Interclick, Extend, Undertone Ads, Specific Media, Heron Media, Zito, and others. What others means is we actually get data from almost every ad network in the world. Some of them either don't have enough data being constantly updated within them, or we haven't classified yet. So, for example, we haven't classified Site Scout yet. We have a ton of their data, and we can classify them, and that's coming in the next little while. We're just rewriting some internal code before we do that. And then for text ad networks, we do AdSonar, AdSide, AdBlade. No, sorry, I lied. We do AdSonar, AdSide, Pulse, Google Content, and MSN Content. And that allows you to do pretty much all the major networks that have any real media buying importance. There are obviously some networks like Engage BDR and stuff like that that we're working on covering, and we're working on identifying their ad servers, and that's coming soon. And I mean, we're constantly improving the product, but we do cover more networks than anybody else out there right now.
Is it fair to say that little networks aren't of interest to anybody anyway?
No, that's not fair to say. I mean, buying on a little networks can offer you some opportunities to buy media that you may not be able to get because they have unique sites within them. But what we don't want to do is we don't want our user to log in and say, I want to find ads that are doing well on Bob's media network, and we found one banner that Bob served in the past 40 days. There's no point in showing you that because that's not actionable data. We're only going to show you data that really is we have enough of to make it interesting to our users.
It's got to have some activity or it's not worth thinking
exactly.
about. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't know if you want to answer this question or not. Maybe you want to give us a range, but somebody says, how many current members does What Runs Where have?
We don't divulge that information.
I figured not, but it's more than 10, right?
Yes, it's more. We have more than 10 members.
In terms of the intelligence, as you call it, that you're gathering, can you give us something that What Runs Where provides that nowhere else can be found?
That nowhere else can be found? I mean, here's, the basics of it. If you want to spend your time going to thousands or hundreds of thousands of websites across the web and looking at who's running on what there, classify the network and classify the ads. Go for it. You don't have the time in the day. We do that for you. We offer multiple countries, which no other service provides. We offer more data than anybody else. We offer more networks than anybody else. And we make sure that, our data is reliable. So I can't speak to how other people, browse, but let's say that somebody browses in an unreliable way. What does that mean? You could get sucked into a retargeting program. You could get sucked into a certain targeting program, and then all of a sudden the types of ads you see are skewed. So what you're showing for being across the web isn't what's really being advertised across the web because you're sucked into a specific targeting channel. So I mean, to sum it up, we provide more data, we provide reliable data, and we provide international data. Also, what else do we provide? The best looking and nicest customer support in the world, aka me. And we're constantly improving the product, and we also listen to our users. If somebody has an improvement that we feel benefits the whole community, we'll work hard to build that into the product.
And do you monitor adult sites?
We do not. if there's any adult content in there, we go and we take it out. People ask us to, but there's some legal stuff there. And also it's not just affiliates we have using our service. We have some larger brands and agencies using our service as well. That's just not brand safe. And also, you don't want to search, let's say, dating and just see adult ads everywhere because it has the word, because they relate to dating, but they relate to an inappropriate type of dating. It's just not something we're interested in. It's not brand safe, and it's only a small, segment. I know people ask us for it all the time, but it's just not something that we offer.
There's enough of that out there that you don't need to track it. Is that about it?
I wouldn't say that, but I'd say, it's a strategic business decision that we made not to do it.
Will you in time track inline text advertising?
Potentially. I mean, we're focused on the display side, so I don't really see why we track inline. Why wouldn't we just perfect what we're doing, increase the range so we get even more data and we make the service even better? And I mean, just continue to make it better. There's so much money in display advertising that we'd rather help our users make the most they can there.
Well, I want to thank you for showing us how that thing works. I'm still catching my breath from the information that was popping up as to the kind of stuff you're tracking. As intelligence goes, it's obviously very in-depth and very valuable. And for those folks out there looking for something to enable them to do useful research on their competitors or potential competitors, and that's how business works. Find out what the other guy's doing and do it on your own. Do it better. Your opening comment, you're talking about media and banners, and don't just use the banners that the affiliate network provides or the stock stuff. Make your own. Do you have a special recommendation that you go in terms of where you go to get that stuff made, or are you suggesting that everybody can make their own if they just think hard enough about it?
Well, you can make your own paint, and it'll be ugly, and you might want to test those. But I mean, you can find designers on Wicked Fire. You can find designers all over the place that'll help you make banners and put your concepts into something a bit prettier. If you want to do that for fairly cheap, you can use design forums or outsourcing and stuff like that. I personally, when I was media buying heavily, I just found a cheap designer and put them on contract and got them to build banners for me all day long. But that's because I had a bit more money than the average person to put into it, and it was working. I was making a bunch of money, so the cost of making banners was relatively low. But I mean, if you have any skill of Photoshop or anything like that, you can make your own banners, or you can just contract it out to somebody to help you do that.
Do you think there's any merit to the animated banners, or is it just no point?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Even buying for What Runs Where now, we use animated banners, and it's definitely something to test out. It catches the user's eye. Let's say you switch frames, or we switch something like that. You catch the user's eye, and you make them focus on your banner. Half the challenge is getting them to notice your banner, and the other half is convincing them they want to click on it.
So get in their face fast and give them something to think about.
Exactly.
Well, it's been really, really interesting and informative, and I thank you on behalf of OfferVault for giving our members a shot at this for that discount coupon, folks. Make sure you have that. It's not hard to remember. It's just OfferVault when you go to the registration tab, and there you are.
Couple quick things. That coupon's only open for the next, day or two, so if you want to use it quickly. And if you want to learn more about media buying, as said, OfferVault has some great webinars on it that you can go back and watch, and those will also be informative, and you can rewatch this one as well.
Thanks again. Really appreciate your time.
Not a problem.
And everybody,
perfect. Thanks so much, guys. Hopefully you'll decide to try us out. I can be reached anytime at whatrunswhere@whatrunswhere.com. And I hope to hear from you guys soon.
On that note, folks, we're out of here.